are tuned into the Path of the Pious on Ramadan FM 2018. How you keeping? Yeah. Walaikum assalam, rahmatullah. How you keeping, bro?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. Yourself, how you doing? You okay?
Alhamdulillah.
Good,
Ramadan's nearly finishing.
Ramadan is almost finished. We were talking,
yeah.
everybody saying Ramadan is coming. It's on its way, and we got to start preparing. We got to start doing this. We got to start doing that. Taking time off work. Start planning your days.
Yeah.
And now it's gone already. It's finished.
Yeah, absolutely.
But one day left, probably. Probably tomorrow could be the last fast.
Yeah, absolutely. It's flown by so quickly.
It's a bit like life, though, isn't it? Really,
Yeah.
if you think about it.
Absolutely.
Life is flying past. So 1 month is obviously going to fly past. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Sometimes we recall our youth, our school life, what we used to do, maybe the mischief we used to do when we were young, and you kind of...
I didn't do any, bro. I was perfectly fine. No, I'm only joking. All the people that know me will be watching. I hope nobody phones in and starts telling the stories.
Yeah, it's definitely, you remember those kind of events and you think, it's been 20 years since that's happened, right? And you think, it feels like yesterday, but such a long time has passed just thinking about it. And during that time, so much has happened. It's just, unreal and unbelievable. So many events in our lives. There probably have been people who are no longer with us, who we knew, who we used to see day in and day out, and they're not with us anymore. This is Path of the Pious. We've discussed, in the last couple of weeks, Sayyidina Ghawth Abdul Qadir al-Jilani, rahimahullah ta'ala, and Mevlana Jalaluddin Rumi. So today, inshallah, is going to be kind of like a recap and freestyle.
Also Imam Ghazali.
Imam Ghazali, yeah, can't miss Imam Ghazali, subhanallah, absolutely.
Yeah, so today we're just going to be looking at a bit of a mixture of some of the things they spoke about, some of the life lessons they gave to us.
Yeah.
Some things they talked about which you find in not just their books, you find that in all the awliya, in most of the scholars, most of the pious people will mention these things.
Wow. Yeah.
Because they're very, very important.
Mm.
It's like one is having the knowledge, practicing, and the other side is making sure you're getting it right. Because a lot of them talk about riya, the show. Sure. And this is something that the pious people even called it shirk.
Yeah.
You're associating partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Wow. Yeah.
That's how strong it is. And if you look at, it's the shaitan attacks you in so many different ways. One of the ways that we don't even realize is through riya. Yeah. Trying to do certain good acts. And he whispers something in your ear that makes sure somebody is watching you.
Wow. Yeah.
That there's so many stories. There's so many stories in the past where people have been doing something good, and that thought has come across.
Wow.
And they've stopped. They've changed their thinking. They've changed their way. So that's something quite dangerous, and we have to be aware of that.
So it's related kind of like to intention then, I guess.
Yes, definitely. Your intentions. And your intentions are something which is right at the start, the beginning. So before you even do an act, your intentions have to be right. Your intentions have to be pure. You have to be really clear on what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Sayyidi Shaykh al-Islam, Dr. Tahir al-Qadri, delivered lectures on intentions a few years ago in our centre in London.
Right.
And they were absolutely amazing. And for me, it was an eye-opener, to be honest with you, because I've heard lectures on intentions before, but he spoke about it in a slightly different way. And he also mentioned small little things and how can every act in our daily life can turn into ibadah if we have the right intention. Even going to sleep. He said, if you go to sleep with the intention that Allah, you have provided me with this body, physical health, mental health, and I have to now rest in order for me to continue the work of your deen or go to work, and it's your order for me to earn halal. So I will now rest my body and wake up tomorrow and go to work to earn halal. Or if you're a student, say, yep, I'm going to gain knowledge to benefit myself, how to be closer to you, how can my knowledge benefit other people. So if you make intentions and say these things to yourself regularly, and you're going to go to work anyway. You're going to go to sleep anyway. You're going to go and study anyway. You're going to do whatever you're going to do anyway. So why don't you just change one thing, is make and renew and purify your intention. So whilst you're sleeping, you'll be rewarded for it. Whilst you're at work, you'll be rewarded for it. If you're going to play something, for example, football, just have the intention that I want to play and I also want to keep fit, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that you got to look after yourself. And to run, racing is sunnah of the Prophet. So have all these intentions behind your actions, and everything that you're doing will turn into ibadah, inshallah. So when Shaykh al-Islam explained gave loads of examples and explained this, it really changed a lot of the things, the way I used to do them. Like, I used to teach people driving, and then I used to always say to them, what's your niyyah? I used to say to all my pupils, most of them, what's your intention for learning driving? And they were like, oh yeah, we're doing it because we need to take my kids. I said, yeah, that's fine, but have you thought that before you start learning, you should make intention that I will learn, and I will, once I've learned, I will try to help the deen. I will try to do some work for the deen. I will look after my family. I will look after my parents. I will, do this and do that. Just have the intention there. So whilst you're learning, and for the rest of your life, whilst you're driving, if you learn with that intention, there's a possibility that you could be rewarded for it.
Wow, that is brilliant. Really, really good. So yeah, I think that's amazing that so every action that we do, if we if before doing the action we have make a niyyah for it to be in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then that action is rewarding, even if it's sleep. And that's I think it's powerful. Amazing analysis of the concept of niyyah, of intention. That's amazing. And if I remember correctly, Shaykh al-Islam said that renew your intentions on a regular basis. Wow. It's like a reminder. Remind yourself that, because intentions are so pure. Everything what we do is based on an intention, not your actions. Wow. Otherwise things just become ritualistic. There's just a ritual habit. But even then a habit, if you make a niyyah, then it can be rewarded. And I guess to constantly remind yourself that what I'm doing is because of a certain is to make it into an ibadah, an act of worship. I think that also helps you keep focus. If we look at it in a materialistic way, it helps you keep focused as well. But act of worship, that's amazing. You mentioned the word focus. I think that's something that we all need to do. I was speaking to somebody recently who
he's one of the students of Shaykh al-Islam, and I was speaking to him, and he said something to me, and I was like, wow. He said a person should plan his daily routine every single day.
Wow.
And he goes, he should put everything on paper and have a checklist for your daily routine. If you're not doing that, then you are actually wasting your days.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you're doing something like that, you're obviously making intentions as well, isn't it? To do something, then you make that intention, and you write it down that this is what I need to do.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of us make a list of to-do lists.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but to-do lists with your intentions. If you add the intentions in there, that I'm doing this because of this, and it could change everything.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. Is and just to think that helps us keep a track of our time, and use it in a valuable way. And I guess it shows the value of time as well for the person who does that. Subhanallah.
And you know, Imam Ahmad and Al-Bahaki, they say in there that, they're paraphrasing, that on the Day of Judgment there will be so many people that have done so many actions, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say to them that, oh, you know, go to so and so people and get your reward from them.
Wow. And
because you did it for riyah, for show, for them. You didn't do it for me. So now go to them and get your reward from them.
From them. Whoa.
So this is how important riyah
that is powerful. Wow.
You know, you have to really cut that out, because you know, a lot of people will talk about shirk.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, you know, say a lot of things.
Yeah.
But this is also, you know, in the eyes of the Sufis, the people of the Tasawwuf, riyah is shirk.
Shirk, yeah. I think in the hadith is described as the shirk khafi, hidden shirk. And that is riyah, showing off. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's speaks volumes, and it encourages us and keeps us focused as to the purpose of our acts of worship. I mean, Imam Ghazali, you know, where he talks about cleanliness. So did you want to add anything about where Imam Ghazali talks about cleanliness? He begins by emphasizing that it's something very important in our religion. You know, he says, he quotes a number of ahadith about it, that Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, religion was founded on cleanliness, and purification is the key to prayer, to salah. And he mentions that purification is one half of belief. But then when he actually explains it further, he divides it into 4 stages. And he says the first stage is purification of the body. So you clean any dirt that is on you. If you've been to the bathroom, you ensure that whatever you passed is cleaned off your body for zalat or for dalat. And you make sure that if there's any pus, you clean that, and you clean in a bodily way. But then he says the second stage is purification of the bodily senses. So purification from crimes and sins. Right, so he says once we've removed the dirt that has been stuck to you or that has dropped on you, then remove the dirt of sins and any bad deeds that you may have carried out. And then he goes further. The third stage, he says, is the purification of the heart, and of all, you can say, negative or Islamic thoughts and intentions, as you mentioned, and ideas. And so he puts purification, under purification, he classes cleanliness of the heart as a part of tahara, as a part of purification. And then he gives one more stage, in the final stage, which he describes as purification of the inner self, sir. purifying it from everything apart from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. So when it comes to the heart, there's something we don't really kind of think about. We usually, even if it comes to doing wudu, we're straight to the bathroom, we start washing ourselves. Very often, usually the heart doesn't even play a part. We don't actually think, actually I'm doing an act of worship. When I wash my face, I'm hoping that my face, that the water that touches my face and my arms and my limbs, that glows and in the hereafter, because the people who do wudu, where the water has touched their body, their limbs will glow in the hereafter. We don't really kind of think about that often.
Yeah, that is so true, because we're obviously rushing around most of the time. We actually think that ibadah starts when you get on the prayer mat.
Absolutely.
A lot of people think that. It's just something which is inbuilt in us.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks, yep, I've done everything now. I'm about to start praying.
Yeah. Yes.
And the thing is, you are about to start praying, but the ibadah started when you got up, when you made your intention. When then you done wuzu. Then after all of that, it's a continuous process. When it comes to the heart, because I've been listening to the lectures of Sayyidi Shaykh al-Islam in the city of Itikaf in Pakistan.
Yeah.
And they're absolutely amazing. So if anybody is missing out, if anybody's not heard the lectures, they are missing out on them. So they really need to catch up. And if they want to walk on the path of tasawwuf, you really, really have to listen to them lectures. Qibla Huzoor explains them in such a way, some easy steps that we need to take right from the start to the process, how it still continues, so it's still in the process. And heart is mentioned by Sayyidi Shaykh al-Islam so many times, is unbelievable. And the examples that he's been giving, and they're like really, you can understand the atmosphere, you can understand how it could work. Before I go into that, I'm gonna just read something from a book about the heart, because you mentioned the heart. It's from would you call it Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani. The book is The Secret of Secrets.
Wow. Sir al-Asrar. Wow.
So, dear friend, your heart is a polished mirror.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, see, a lot of people, we say we need to polish our heart.
Yeah.
But he says your heart is a polished mirror.
Wow.
So your heart is ready. It's already there. It's polished, but you must wipe it clean of the evil of dust which has gathered upon it, because it is destined to reflect the light of divine secrets.
Wow.
Yeah. So you're talking about, you mentioned doing wuzu and purification of the heart.
Yeah.
Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani mentions this, that it's already polished.
Yeah.
Because Allah wants it to be polished. But it's our actions that have got, dust on it. And it's all the sins that we commit that it just... Shaykh al-Islam also mentioned something similar, that sometimes you feel certain things in a gathering, when you're listening to a lecture, or if you're in a mahfil of a zikr, or if you hear the recitation of the Quran, you feel something inside you which is different than what you'd normally feel.
Yeah.
That's because your heart obviously is already polished, but it has dust on it, and some places of the heart is clean. So that's the part, something's reflected of that heart. So that's when you have that feeling. And because we are from the people who do not regularly polish our hearts with zikr and with recitation, we don't feel it all the time. So we feel something sometimes. So if you feel something sometimes, you know that your heart is already polished, but you just need to do it regular. And then this is where, you know, the state of some of the awliya, they're in that state where their heart is regularly polished.
Wow.
So they don't have no dust on it. So that's why they're always in that state that, you know, we can't understand. But Shaykh al-Islam gave examples, and you have to listen to these lectures.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you'll understand. Obviously, Shaykh al-Islam goes into details.
Yeah.
And then another thing is here, when the light from Allah, who is the light of the heavens and the earth, begins to shine upon the regions of your heart, the lamp of the heart will be lit. The lamp of the heart is in a glass. The glass is as it were a brightly shining star. Yeah. So what Shaykh al-Islam said in one of the lectures is some parts of the heart, it will reflect of some parts of the heart. Because when it goes dust, it doesn't go on every part. There's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. When somebody swears, there's a black spot on your heart. Appears on your heart.
Yeah.
So obviously, if somebody continues to swear, there's loads of black spots on your heart.
Yeah.
See, these are the small little things that we need to stop. I think, and this is again, Hazur Sayyidi Shaykh al-Islam mentioned this yesterday, that a lot of people do the wazaif, they do the salah, they do the zakat, they do hajj, they do everything. They perform all the necessary ibadah, but they don't maintain it. He said it's like you earning money and putting it in your pocket, but your pocket is ripped from underneath.
Wow.
And he goes, what's going to happen with all the things, all the money that you're putting in? It's going to obviously be wasted. He goes, this is the same way when you're doing your ibadah. When you're doing your ibadah, when you are doing the normal, amal in your life. Sometimes some people feel it a lot more than others. And the secret is, they feel it is because it's not being wasted. So we do everything, but we waste a lot. So we need to stop doing the waste. You know, we got to look at our lives and we think, okay, we got a habit of, you know, loose talk. We have a habit of missing our salah. We have a habit of backbiting. We have a habit of doing this, doing that. We need to really start thinking that what is it that we do bad? We need to make a list of the things that we do bad, and then one by one remove them from our lives. Once you remove them from, that's the way to kind of protect all the ibadah that you're doing. Because if your pocket's always ripped, everything's going out. Same way, whatever you're doing, you will be rewarded for it. But we are looking for that certain state of peace inside. You will not get that if you continuously do your ibadah and continuously commit sins as well. Even in Dr. Hussain Muhyiddin Qadri, was one of his books, Oh Brother. It's a beautiful book.
I've not managed to get hold of that yet.
It's really, really good. I haven't read the book fully because I only picked these books up recently, and I read the Revolution one, the Journey of Revolution. I've read that fully. That is absolutely amazing. But this one, I've just started flicking through it now, and I came across this. It's beautiful. It says it's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. It's in Tabrani, Al-Tabrani, in Al-Mu'jam Al-Kabir. When a believer performs a good deed, a light flares up in his heart due to the blessings of his pious deeds. So obviously, and he says that the more pure your intentions are
for that deed. Yeah.
The more of that light enters the heart.
Subhanallah.
You know, and if your heart is, you know, not clean, is full of any sin. Obviously, it's like this. It's like we all love. You know, imagine you're thirsty. Look, imagine you after fasting, everybody's thirsty, isn't it? Yeah? When you're about to break your fast, everybody wants to have something to drink.
Yeah.
But if that, imagine the thirst that you're feeling at the time, and the glass you have is really dirty glass. Would you drink from that glass?
Yeah, you think twice about it.
You'd think twice.
Yeah.
So you know the glass has to be pure for you to drink from it. Yeah. So before you enter anything in it, you must make sure that it's clear, it's clean. So your heart has to be clean. Otherwise, would you call it? It's you know, it's not gonna, the knowledge and the nur of Allah doesn't go on it. Indeed, Allah does not observe your forms and your properties, but He does observe your hearts and your deeds.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's something that we really, really need to work on, trying to purify your hearts. And even Hazrat Ali radiyallahu ta'ala, he says about wudu.
Yeah.
You mentioned doing wudu. Yeah. He said, look at the water when you're doing wudu. When you're performing the wudu, look at the cleanness of the water. Wow. Look how clean the water is. If you look at the cleanness of the water, which is so clear, now you should become that clear with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Wow.
So because when you're doing wudu, when you just look at that water.
It's powerful.
Hazrat Ali radiyallahu ta'ala anhu.
Is that also in this book? In the
it's in the book of Hazrat Ali.
Oh,
What is it? Trying to look for the word. The English is the eloquence of. I've forgotten the name of the book. I was just going through some of the quotes of Hazrat Ali radiyallahu ta'ala, and it was in there.
Wow, that is because the water drops look so pure and clear, and
that's right.
Wow. And you mentioned about making a list of the acts of disobedience. I think it was Imam al-Muhasibi, one of the early Sufiya, and he mentioned about doing muhasaba, or balancing at the end of each day. Look at the deeds which you have done and acts of negligence that you have done, and balance them, do muhasaba of them. And I think the idea that you gave, you know, literally like ticking them off, you know, make a list of bad deeds and work on them, work on ticking them off. I think that is something both practical as well as spiritual. So I think, it's fun. We're going to go for a short break. Please stay tuned. And inshallah ta'ala we'll continue with this topic. Assalamu alaikum.
6-ounce Mexican or the 10-ounce Texan, or you decide to go for a messy fries or buffalo wings, one thing you're guaranteed is quality. We've also got a range of desserts including our trademark shakes in all your favourite flavours. We're based at 400 Cranbrook Road in Gants Hill, so come down to dine in or order in on Uber Eats or Just Eat. Amigos, hats off to great burgers.
Through Minhaj Welfare Foundation, your giving saves lives. Your support has provided more than 3 million people with access to clean and safe water, emergency relief in natural disaster and crisis-affected areas around the world, supported orphans and needy children with a better future. This year, your help can do more. Donate your zakat, sadaqah and charitable donations to any of your chosen projects. Call now on 0300 30 30 777 or visit us at minhajwelfare.org.
Ramadan FM 2018.
The voice of British Muslims.
और तेन 20 बारी आके ते क्रिकेट ना खेलिया कर तू फिर विंडो भन छोड़ी है
Don't worry, Dad. Our windows needed changing anyway.
हाँ तो पैसे तू दे से ना
Nah, don't worry, Dad. UK Windows will sort it out.
यूके विंडो ओ कौन है ना
They're the best double glazing company about. They do windows, patios, French doors, sliding doors, UPVC, aluminium, you name it, they've got it. We can go see them at 51 to 53 Upton Lane, Forest Gate E79PA, or call them at 07984 440 093 or visit ukwindowslondon.co.uk.
वाह जी वाह ये तो कमाल है यार यूके विंडोज
Zindabad!
Thinking about selling or letting your home? With Maxwell Estates, you don't need to look any further. Well established with over 15 years of experience, Maxwell Estates are specialists in residential sales and lettings. We manage over 200 properties in and around Northwest London, keeping our landlords and tenants updated with all the latest laws and legislations. Based in Edgware, our experienced specialist negotiators always ensure we maximise the full potential of your property. Call us now on 0208 952 0808 for a free no obligation quotation, or visit our website www.maxwellestates.co.uk for further information. Maxwell Estates, the name you can trust.
Through Minhaj Welfare Foundation, your giving saves lives. Your support has provided more than 3 million people with access to clean and safe water, emergency relief in natural disaster and crisis-affected areas around the world, supported orphans and needy children with a better future. This year, your help can do more. Donate your zakat, sadaqah and charitable donations to any of your chosen projects. Call now on 0300 30 30 777 or visit us at minhajwelfare.org.
With over 25 years' experience in the East London area, there's no better firm to rely on than Cameron Adams Century 21 when it comes to properties. Be it lettings, property management or sales, we can assist you to ensure you get the most out of your property. Contact us on 0208 558 2000 for a free, no obligation valuation and watch us do what we do best.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. You are tuned into The Path of the Pious on Ramadan FM 2018 with myself, Brother Rafiq and Brother Sarfraz. We were discussing the heart just before going into break. And also about muhasaba, or you can say at the end of your day, weighing up your good and bad deeds. Please continue, Brother Safraz. You're mentioning about the heart.
Yeah, there's a quote I've got here from Sheikh Hamad ad-Dabbas, a great sheikh from Baghdad. He was also known as one of the shuyukh of Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani. Subhanallah. He said there's 3 types of hearts. One, which does tawaf of dunya always. Okay.
Wow.
Second, which does tawaf of akhirah.
Wow.
He's always thinking about and talking about Jannah.
Wow.
And the third type is he's always doing the tawaf of the creator of dunya and the akhirah.
Allah Akbar. Subhanallah.
Yeah. And now, if you look at these 3 type of hearts, and we really need to do self-analysis, that which type does our heart fall into?
That is powerful. Yeah.
Does our heart fall into the first, second, or the third category? You know? And he said, he goes, there's so many ways to get to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the shortest way is to fall in love with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Subhanallah.
That's the shortest way. And this is what all the people that we've been discussing, with the hope. Because obviously, me, myself, I am not even worthy of picking up their shoes, forget talking about these people. To be honest with you. I should be carrying their shoes wherever they go.
No, absolutely.
So we're just doing it in the hope of that by the blessings of these people, that maybe Allah enlightens our hearts and the secrets that they've been mentioning, that the secrets they've been talking about, maybe Allah blesses us with these secrets.
Absolutely.
Or just blesses us so we can have that jalak,
Yeah.
you know, of the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yeah. I mean, how important is it, just to kind of digress slightly, how important would you say is to have such people as a guide? And because these days, you know, everyone is a sheikh, everyone is an alim, and everyone is a mufti, and everyone is a peer these days as well, you know. But in terms of actually finding the way, I mean, are there any kind of sayings that you're aware of? And
Shaykh al-Islam mentioned, because I've been listening to his lectures every day. Right now, I'm still, even though I'm not present in the city of Itikaf, but spiritually I am in the city of Itikaf, because I really can't wait until I start listening to the lectures, because all day I just look forward to them. That, you know, because, and yesterday Shaykh al-Islam was mentioning about company, keeping the good company. And he said coming to guides. Yeah, because obviously whoever is your guide, whoever is your teacher, that means he's your company. You know. And he said that after you've kept a company, after you had a teacher, you're learning under somebody. Qibla didn't mention this, but he said that if you got any kind of friends, company, whoever, because you should start analyzing that what have I gained from this company.
Wow.
After a little while, check that what's happened. Is the love of dunya increased?
Wow.
Is the love of knowledge increased? Has the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam increased?
Wow.
If it has increased, then that is the company you should be in.
Wow.
If it hasn't increased, then you should not be in that company. He also mentioned, he said, and you know, I know you went to Umrah recently. Alhamdulillah. I went Hajj back in 2005, I think it was. And I went Umrah a few times. And, you know, a lot of people, when they come back from Umrah, you know, they say, oh, when we were there, we totally forgot everything.
Yes.
I felt the same myself. You know, you totally cut yourself away from everything.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you're just in that zone. You're in that frame of mind where it's you and it's Makkah or it's Medina, and it's you and Allah and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you're just, you know, you're in that frame of mind where you don't want to remember a lot of the things, you know, back here. So Shaykh al-Islam gave that example. So when you're in that kind of atmosphere, you're different because everything is changed. You know, and it's easier when somebody gives you example about something. When somebody talks about Allah, you know, you can relate to everything. And then, you know, somebody says something, and then all of a sudden your heart softens, and you know, tears start coming out. And when you're in, for example, Makkah, in front of the Kaaba, or in front of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Medina, what happens? You know, your heart is so soft at the time that you know, the tears start flowing automatically sometimes. See, that's the company that you're in. You know, the atmosphere. Your whole surrounding is also a company.
Subhanallah. Wow.
You know, in a way, because if you're sitting, for example, if we're reading Ihya Ulumuddin, or if you're reading Secrets of the Secret, any book that you pick up, you automatically, if you have the intention that I am going to be in the company of this sheikh, because I'm reading their book, you know, you start feeling
that you're in their company.
But if you don't have that, so whenever you're choosing a sheikh, a guide, it's so important. Look, we mentioned the scholars that we've been discussing in the last few weeks. Every single one of them, they had a sheikh. Every single one of them talked about teachers. it's not possible for you to gain much in life without a guide.
Yeah.
You can look into, you know, your school life. You don't turn up to school and just sit in a classroom and pick up your own books and start reading. You got somebody there who's teaching you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
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 You go to the mosque, and somebody's there teaching you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
After that, when you go even outside, you're you know, we just go sometimes play football. But if you want to be serious about football, if you want to be serious about cricket or any sports, as you know, my background is from sports.
Yeah.
I can give you many examples of this.
Yeah.
If you want to be serious
in
anything in life, you need a teacher, you need a guide, you need a coach, someone who's going to coach you. Because I do coaching, I used to do a lot of coaching in sports before. I know that I look at the game, especially cricket and football, I look at the game a little bit differently than somebody who's just watches it and never done coaching in his life. There's certain things that happen that you see that nobody else will see. Only other coaches will see. So that's why you need to find a guide, somebody who can correct and see your mistakes first of all, and correct them. If you don't improve as a person, if your akhlaq does not improve, your manners, and you know that we say, you know, you mentioned peers, I don't like to mention peers too much, to be honest with you, but because you mentioned peers, you know, sometimes, you know, we hear that this person gets angry, it's really good, and they say, oh, mashallah, he's Jalali peer. He has a lot of Jalal, you know, he's very, very angry. And I always wondered, is that anger, or is that just, you know, like he has bad manners? You know, he's got no control over his nafs. So you're going to people, you should first, when you go to a sheikh, when you're learning under someone, you should look, does he have control over his nafs? If he's got control over his nafs, then there's a chance that he might teach you how to control your nafs. Otherwise, what are you doing under his guidance?
Absolutely.
You know, there's so many examples of this. There's so much. Would you call it? It's like Shaykh al-Islam also mentioned that, you know, the subject of the heart, for example, is not a topic of fiqh.
No.
Because that's topic of tasawwuf. So sometimes we want to, you know, there's illness of the heart. We're trying to look for cures of the illness of the heart with people who are not specialists in that field. You know, so you got to look at guides who's gonna first of all be able to point out your mistakes. And I'm not talking about in public. Public announcements. I think Hazrat Ali radiyallahu anhu said, if you want to corrupt someone, point out his mistakes in public.
Oh wow.
And if you want to correct somebody, let him know in private or something like that, along these lines. That's a lesson for us. You know, that we sometimes try to be nice and mention somebody's doing something wrong in front of so many people. So we want to get a guide who teaches you things like this, you know, small little things that do not hurt people, do not break people's hearts. Do not show disrespect to people. When somebody is would you call it, doing something wrong, you know, you there's a way of fixing that.
Absolutely.
You know, so you need to find a guide who can teach you all these things rather than someone who can just give you knowledge. And say, yep, this is what Islam says on this, and this is what the kuffar say on this, and this is what the philosophers say on this. But you know, you have to look at what how did the Prophet ﷺ deal with this situation? You know, there's people that's the Sahaba, they said that we served the Prophet ﷺ for 10 years. And in them 10 years, not even once the Prophet ﷺ lost his temper.
Wow, subhanallah. That is just,
And
Powerful.
forget anybody else, me looking at my lifestyle, and that's one of the biggest issues I've got. Because I tend to lose my temper quite quickly at times. So yeah, there's lessons for us to be learned, and alhamdulillah, you know, I believe that we are in one of the best companies possible today, which is the company of Hazur Sayyidi Shaykh al-Islam, Dr. Tahir al-Qadri. Anyone who spent a little bit of time with them will know, you know, how much of a nice person he is when you speak to them in person.
Absolutely.
I've met people who've met them and met Shaykh al-Islam, and they've only seen him in lectures. And when they saw him and he was speaking, and they said, "Is this Shaykh al-Islam?" I said, "Yeah." And they said, "Oh wow." Because he's so powerful when he's speaking in lectures, we always imagine him to be like really, really like humongous, big, and you know, like so passionate. I said, well, obviously that's when he's delivering lectures, but he's not gonna be like that in his normal daily life.
Gentle,
and
merciful.
And I don't want to mention the name because I know he doesn't want me to name. But this was son of some big sheikh, who was a friend of mine, and he saw Sayyidi Shaykh al-Islam. And he was like, wow. He goes, I listened to him a lot. And he goes, I always pictured him to be like some, you know, some...
behaving high and mighty.
You know, like always very powerful.
And
he goes, he's so gentle. He goes, he's so soft.
And
I said, alhamdulillah, that's how he is.
SubhanAllah. Do the poem of Mia Muhammad Bakhsh. Go on.
You know, I'm not very good reciter, to be honest with you, bro. You know? Because Mia Muhammad Bakhsh talks about guides, you know? And are you sure you want me to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, just... okay. Radhe 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 Har koi aakhe te main vi aakhan radhe bin murshid raah nahiyo labna bin murshid raah nahiyo labna reh jayega vich radhe. Basically that means, you know, you talk about guides. We have some serious nasheed artists, mashallah, alhamdulillah, in Idara. So that's why I don't really
it's beautiful
too much. They read beautifully, especially our brother Ismail Mahmood. Wow, absolutely amazing. He's one of the guests, inshallah, sometime soon.
Definitely.
In the future, we will, if we ever get a chance to do the show again, we will definitely invite him. He will talk about the Rumi of Kashmir.
That'd be amazing. You know,
Mia Muhammad Bakhsh and his kalam. He's an expert in it.
I mean, that's beautiful what you recited.
And what I recited basically what it means. Because I understand the language quite well. I speak it quite a bit. I've been there quite a few times in my life. I have relatives living, if not directly opposite, about a minute's walk from where Mia Muhammad Bakhsh is buried, Khadi Sharif, and we go there quite a bit. He basically says, give me way, or show me the path. But you know, Radhe, basically give me way. Even Ismail, I think, would probably explain in a much better way. But it says, give me way, show me the way. And then even I say, maybe, you know, come on, Radhe, even I say that show me the way, but you will not find the way without a guide, without a murshid. You will be left behind. You will be left in the way.
Wow.
Reh jayega raah vich.
Wow.
You know? So obviously I'm not like I haven't kind of translated it. Otherwise, I would have
Nice.
written it down or something.
No, it's great.
But,
We've got comments coming in saying more, please. Sister Yasmin Ahmed posted a
Mashallah.
message on Facebook saying more, please.
MashaAllah. That's fine. Inshallah, when Shahid Mahmood, our brother, his son, Ismail
Yeah.
Mahmood,
Yeah.
when we invite him, we'll get him to,
Inshallah.
read the Kalam.
Inshallah.
From what I know, he's done a degree in it, or he's done his master's in it, or something like that.
He's done and he's actually done he's done one of the first studies on the Na'tiya Kalam of Imam Ahmad Raza Khan.
Oh, subhanallah,
Yeah.
mashallah, mashallah.
A degree.
So
in
all
that.
I remember him is as Bulbul Medina
Yes.
from when he was
When he was,
a young boy, mashallah.
Yeah,
So,
mashallah.
yeah, alhamdulillah. And you know the beautiful thing is about whenever we go to Qadi Sharif,
Oh, yeah.
is that you'll always find some malangs there doing qawali,
Oh, yeah,
or
mashallah.
just someone just sitting there reciting something,
Mashallah.
so it's absolutely beautiful, alhamdulillah.
Mashallah. I'd like to talk more, but we're actually out of time.
We're
I
out
mean,
of time.
the Rumi of Kashmir or of Punjab, that kind of region, and it's such a motivation that so many people know of this kalam. Whether you are an alim or someone or just the ordinary person, and they read it and sing it with this beautiful tune. I mean, unfortunately, we're kind of out of time. I mean,
Yeah.
and then Ramadan is almost finished as well. I don't know. I've got no last words apart from remember us in your prayers and make prayers for the success of this station.
Alhamdulillah. I think
Anything
they're
you wanna
looking to
close?
go full time the radio, so please support it.
Yeah.
I know that they've been doing appeals, so please, if you do want to help, please do. I think they were looking for 500 people to donate £100 each.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to help, please do. It's Sadqa Jariyah, so everything that someone will do in the radio, if any good comes from it, you'll also be part of it, inshallah.
Yeah.
And if anybody wants to do any shows or anything, please, contact the radio, Brother Ismail, Brother Osman, other brothers, and come. It's a community radio, so it's not just for us, it's not just for Muslims, it's for non-Muslims, it's for everybody. So please come and help us and join us, inshallah. And pray for us that all the things that we mentioned, Allah helps us, and we act upon these things ourselves, because all we did was to advise. We were not there to lecture, we weren't there to say things, and Ya Allah, help us to act upon all of these things ourselves first. And if anybody heard anything which they liked, and if they could put that into their daily lives, put that into practice, and if you do, please do dua for us as well, inshallah.
Inshallah. With that, greet everyone farewell. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.